I'm Themba Nolichungu. I'm the director of the Free Market Foundation in South Africa. American civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. believed that people should be judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. And Nelson Mandela once said, "To deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity." But too often in our societies, people are judged not only by the color of their skin, but by what country they're from or based on their tribal affiliations. This kind of collectivism, judging every individual on the basis of what group he belongs to, often leads to conflict and violence. What Africa needs instead is a culture of toleration. Toleration is essentially the idea that in order to have a peaceful civil society, we must each accept that it is actually acceptable for individuals to have differences. These can be differences of opinion and beliefs. They can be different preferences for food, clothing, or music, different hairstyles and skin colors. They can be differences of nationality and culture. They can even be differences of gender identity and sexual orientation. Just because people are different does not inherently make them bad or undeserving of an equal consideration of rights. Toleration doesn't mean that people cannot have disagreements, but that those disagreements do not inherently justify coercive laws or violence. People who differ from your opinions and preferences should not be placed in jail or subject to physical harm. Africa has a tragically long history of dehumanizing other people based on their collective identity, often manifesting as xenophobia against foreigners. Concerns about immigration are a common source of this kind of intolerance. Even after apartheid was officially ended in South Africa, there have been spates of xenophobic violence as recently as 2015, mostly coming from poor South Africans fearing that new immigrants were stealing their jobs. But jobs cannot be reserved for specific people based only on where they were born, and employers must decide who to employ based on a number of factors in order to be competitive and stay in business. And concern for the local economy does not justify attacking other people or destroying their property, any more than does concern that they have different personal or religious beliefs, or simply because you don't like the group they represent. Africa has some of the highest rates of homicide and warfare in the world. And so many of those problems are a direct result of the collectivist idea that individuals are good or bad, based on little more than where they are from or what group they belong to. In order to reduce this kind of violence and improve cooperation and exchange across Africa, we must learn to embrace people for their differences and the unique contributions each individual has to offer. We must all learn toleration.